You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello and welcome to episode 326 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, February 28, 2021.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it looks on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship, all personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Hey everybody, it's Sean back at you here with another exciting episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. And today I have a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Heather.
Yes, you are. And for longtime listeners, it's a returning treat because you have been on the podcast once before.
And no one needs to know about it.
Oh, no, it was good times. Good times. Actually, you've been on my other podcast, the Soul Forge podcast, quite a bit. But the geek stuff, you haven't really been around for too much.
No.
So I looked it up just to see exactly how long ago it had been since you'd been on the podcast. And do you know how long it's been?
A long time?
It was a very long time. It was episode 77 back in June of 2015.
Wow.
Yes, that's when we were going through the various years. And since you were born in 1977, I recruited you for episode 77 to talk about movies that came out in 1977.
Yes.
And that was the last time you were on Rusted Robot.
Yes.
And here you are again, all these years later. Are you excited?
I can't even contain it.
I can tell.
I thought so.
Okay, and you're a bit of a geek, would you say? Let's talk about your geek cred.
My geek cred. I don't know how much cred I have. Maybe I'm a wannabe geek.
Geek by osmosis?
Yeah, it might be. That would probably be it because I was like the anti-Star Trek. And yeah, now I'm passing him in the Star Trek.
Right. So for listeners who may not know, you are married to the man who was my best man at my wedding to the previous host of this podcast.
Yes.
Back in the day when it first started.
How was that first circle?
And that's quite the circle, yes. So anyway, you're here to podcast with me.
Yes.
And we're excited.
We are.
And we're ready to go.
Let's do it.
Episode 326. Today, as we're recording, it's February 27th for release on the 28th. And today is, as we're recording, the 6th anniversary of the passing of the one and only Leonard Nimoy.
You realize that the aim will, of course, be very crude.
Very sad times, but an anniversary that we need to acknowledge.
Yes.
Because one of the heroes that I had growing up, Mr. Spock for president.
Always.
Yes. So yeah, I just had to acknowledge that. So normally what we do is, you haven't listened to many episodes, have you?
No.
No. And that's okay. So what we do is we talk about this week in pop culture. We do random things like trailers and just do a little bit of general chit-chat at the beginning.
Okay.
And so we're in that mode right now. Back to your geek cred. You've watched a lot of Babylon 5.
I've watched a lot of episodes many times.
Yes.
But not all episodes.
Okay. So that's still a goal that you're working on.
Yes.
And you love Battlestar Galactica?
Love? I don't know it. I'm starting it.
Oh, yes. You haven't watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. You just got the series.
Yes.
So you're going to embark on it.
I was gifted the series.
Right.
And in return, I gifted Babylon 5.
That's what it was. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Got to keep that straight.
Yes.
And which is your favorite Star Trek series?
Oh, I'm going to get it, aren't I? Because I'm going to say Voyager.
Ooh, the worst one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really like Discovery right now, but it was Voyager that got me into it. So it's like my
gateway drug.
Yes. So I have to go back to it. I know like nobody else likes it, and that's okay.
Actually, I've been listening to the Delta Flyers podcast hosted by Tom and Harry, and they've been going through each episode in order and talking about it. And so I've been listening to that, and I've actually gone back and watched a couple episodes after they've reviewed it. It's not horrible. It's just my least favorite.
See, it's been a long time since I watched it. So it's kind of like, when you're a kid and you have your favorite book or your favorite movie.
Yeah.
It may not hold up. So you kind of don't want to revisit because you I really liked that.
That's fair.
That's me with Poltergeist. It scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. And then I didn't want to watch it because I was like, oh, it's going to ruin that.
Right, exactly. Yes. Similar things.
Yes.
Okay, so you know a few things geek-wise.
I do.
So you are qualified to be a co-host once again.
I would think so.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
There you go. Okay, so usually after the witty banter, which we just finished, we talk about celebrity death of the week. And I didn't think there was any, but then I looked through the Facebook page to see what I had shared over the past week that I could talk about this time on this episode. And we do have a celebrity death, which was actually shared on the Facebook page of Robert J. Sawyer.
Hi, I'm Hugo Award-winning science fiction writer Robert J. Sawyer, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast.
My favorite sci-fi author who I got to meet and interview several times, or once. Yeah, and we've talked online a little bit. But he shared a celebrity death, Jack White. Now, that's not Jack White from the White Stripes. This is Jack White, Kelowna's best-selling Dream of Eagles author. And he died at the age of 80. Now, I had never heard of this guy.
Nor have I.
Okay, so just to inform our listeners, popular Kelowna-based author Jack White, whose 17 best-selling books of historical fiction have been translated into more than 20 languages, has died at the age of 80 years old. He had been battling cancer. He passed away Monday night at Kelowna Hospice House, and then Kelowna is in BC. That's on the west coast of Canada for any international listeners. And it says here, born in Scotland, White moved to Canada in 1967 and lived in Kelowna for the past 25 years. He was the author of A Dream of Eagles, a series of historical novels set in post-Roman Britain centered around the legend of King Arthur. The series was published in many languages, including German, French, Russian, Spanish, and Portuguese. He also wrote the Templar Trilogy and the Guardians of Scotland, which are also multi-book series. And by 2011, White's books had sold more than 1.25 million copies in Canada alone. And he was also an actor, poet, singer, orator, all according to a biography on his website. So that's pretty much all we have for information-wise about this guy. I'd never heard of him, but Robert Sawyer shares a lot of things, and I thought, well, that's interesting. Then I read the article, and I'm like, he's written a lot of things that I would actually read.
And yet, you haven't.
I haven't. I've never heard of him.
And onto the list they go.
And yeah, and he's Canadian, so I figured I would throw that in there for this week's Celebrity Death Report. That's the morbid stuff out of the way.
Okay.
That's how the podcast starts. We start with the really low stuff, and then we just go up from there.
Oh, okay. That works. I can do that.
Yes. And Josh, my regular co-host, also doesn't know what to say when I bring up Celebrity Death of the Week, so you did good there.
Woohoo!
Yes. You'd almost think you'd been podcasting with me for the last bunch of years. But you haven't, and that's okay. You're here now, so I can say some things and you can
answer some things and
bounce back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah, which is important in a podcast.
Yes.
Especially when you're talking about geek culture. So what we should do, I'm thinking, is we'll go ahead and we'll play a promo for another podcast right here on the ESO network, so we don't forget to play that.
Let's do it.
Howdy! Listen up. I am talking. Now, the question of the hour is, who's got a Doctor Who podcast? Answer. We do. Next question. Who's listening to it? Answer. You are. If you're sitting up there in your silly little spaceship and you've got any plans to listen to a Doctor Who podcast, just remember who's standing in your way. And then, do the smart thing. Listen to Earth Station Who right here on the ESO Network.
And wasn't that a great promo?
It was.
For the Earth Station Who podcast. Don't you love Doctor Who?
I just don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Have you ever watched Doctor Who?
No, because I was afraid of the music at the beginning when I was a kid, and I've never watched it.
I can understand that. That's classic creepy music.
Can we just cut that part out completely? No, we have to leave that.
I have to leave that in there. That's iconic music, and the fact that you were scared of it is epic.
Yes, I used to. Some kids show came on before it, and then that used to come on, and I would run out of the room.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I think that happens to a lot of kids because it's cool music, but it's creepy too. It's got that creep factor.
Creep craft.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, if you want to learn more about Doctor Who, go listen to the Earth Station Who podcast. They'll tell you all about it.
Now
you know. So let's talk about pop culture things that I discovered over my past week of looking at pop culture things that I could talk about on this weekend's podcast.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you prepared?
No, but I'm here, and that makes up for it.
Yes, it does. That'll work. That'll work. The first thing that I found out is that we are getting a Blue Beetle movie. Do you know anything about Blue Beetle?
Who is Blue Beetle?
That is a very good question. If my memory serves correctly, I think that's one of Josh's favorite superheroes, but I might be wrong. It might be a similar name to that with a color in it, but I don't know. I haven't seen Josh in months since the lockdown started, so I can't ask him.
Josh, we don't know what color bug you like, man.
Yeah, it's Blue Beetle or it's Buster Gold or something. I don't know. There's a color in his name anyway. But we've got director Angel Manuel Soto set to direct Blue Beetle, DC Films' first superhero movie starring a Latino character. The screenplay is from Mexican-born writer Gareth Dennett Alcocer, I don't know how you say his name, who wrote Universal's Scarface remake and Sony's Miss Bala. In DC Comics, Blue Beetle is the superhero alter ego used by 3 different heroes, but the film will focus on Mexican-American teenager Jamie Reyes, the 3rd character to assume the Blue Beetle mantle. And he says, "It's an honor to direct Blue Beetle, the first Latino superhero film for DC," Soto said in a statement to The Wrap. "I want to sincerely thank everyone at Warner Brothers and DC for trusting me to bring Jamie Reyes to life. I can't wait to make history together." And the film is actually eyeing a fall production date. So that is very exciting. And Blue Beetle has actually been around since 1939. But he's not very famous. And I only know him because Josh has mentioned him before. I don't know. I've never read any of his books. I don't know anything about him. But it's good for diversity in the pop culture landscape. And anyway, it's something to do with a Blue Beetle scarab on the way home that Jamie Reyes finds, and it's half buried in a disused lot. He takes the scarab home. He's curious as to what it might be. That night, the scarab comes alive and grafted into the base of Jamie's spine, provided him with a suit of extraterrestrial armor, which can be modified to enhance his speed and strength, as well as to create weapons, wings, and shields.
Sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, it might be. But that could be an interesting movie.
Yes.
I think so. And the fact that we're getting a little bit more diversity in the pop culture landscape is amazing.
Yes.
And about time.
Yes.
Yes. So that's pretty cool news.
Indeed.
What else have we got? Well, did you know that there's a 3rd Spider-Man film coming to the MCU?
I did not.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Well, the first one was called Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
The second one was Spider-Man Far From Home.
I've seen these. And the third one is?
No Way Home.
No way.
No Way Home. And apparently Tom Holland, who plays Peter Parker, was trolling the internet. And he released it before this news came out, and he called it Spider-Man 3, Phone Home. And so they've been apparently trolling the internet before they release the actual title. That is excellent news, and it's filled with all kinds of people in it. It's going to be quite the thing. And it says here, not much is known about the plot details for Spider-Man 3 as of now, but it sounds like it's shaping up to be one of the most interesting projects in MCU Phase 4. And while Holland and other filmmakers have been mum about narrative specifics, they've been hyping the project as they're currently in the middle of production. So they're making it right now. And we've heard that Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in the Netflix series, was in this, or at least he was on set.
Okay.
So maybe Marvel is bringing all their different projects together, and it's going to be a great big smorgasbord of pop culture goodness.
Interesting.
And there's actually an article that says here we've got every character confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3. And let's see if the list actually is going to show up or not.
Hi. This is Admiral Adama.
My name's Robert J. Sawyer.
This is Cena Grace.
Hey, this is Stephen Amell.
Hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek.
I'm hanging with Sean
and Josh.
They're telling all about general geekery.
And you are listening to the Rusted Robot
Podcast.
The #1 rated robot-related podcast
in Northern Ontario.
You should be following them on Twitter.
Keep listening.
Don't forget to follow them on Twitter.
Subscribe on iTunes.
TheRustedRobot.podbean.com.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
It looks like, well, of course, Spider-Man. We've got Electro, Ned Leeds, who's Spider-Man's friend. We've got Aunt May, of course. We've got MJ. We've got Flash Thompson. And we've got Doctor Strange. That's all that this article says. And I think there's going to be more, but we'll have to wait and see. And we don't know when it's coming out. But it'll be exciting. I've seen them all in the theater. Every single MCU movie in the theater. It's very exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes.
Are you really, though?
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
I like Spider-Man.
Do you?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, all right. Because I didn't know if you were messing with me, just agreeing with me, or you actually feel that way.
Yeah, you can never tell with me.
No, you're very deadpan. But that's okay. Hey, do you like toys?
I do.
Well, I've got some toy news for you. Are you excited? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you prepared?
Show me.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, I had that toy when I was a kid.
You did?
I did.
It's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And this week, Mattel held their virtual analyst day meeting. And during the online call, assorted presentations were made by various departments. And among the presentations, the very first look at some all-new Masters of the Universe items were revealed. The presentation gave us our very first look at the upcoming Masters of the Universe cartoon, which will be CGI. But this isn't Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation show, which is tied to the original Filmation series, but an all-new Masters of the Universe adventure coming to Netflix. And the image shows the new design for both He-Man and Battle-Cat. And even more exciting for collectors is our first look at the Masters of the Universe 7-inch scale action figures. And the image gives us our look at Hem-Man. I wonder if that's supposed to be He-Man and they just did a typo. So
I'm thinking so, because that looks like He-Man to me.
I've never heard of Hem-Man, but we'll go with He-Man, Battle-Cat, Skeletor, and Evil Lyn. And also revealed is a new Mega Constructs Battle-Cat. And here's what they had to say about the M.O.D.O.K, or Masters of the Universe. The blockbuster news of 2021 will be the return of Masters of the Universe. Last year, we set the stage with the launch of special action figures and a truly awesome Castle Grayskull targeting fans and collectors. Adding cultural relevance, we collaborated with legendary artist and pop culture icon Misaki for a limited edition collection through Mattel Creations that sold out in minutes. And this year we go all the way. 2021 will be the first time the franchise has been supported with episodic content in nearly 20 years, and now it's getting 2 separate series on Netflix. The first, legendary filmmaker Kevin Smith's contemporary reimagining, is called Masters of the Universe Revelation, and it already has incredible buzz. And we'll follow that with the new series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, a fun reboot for kids, bringing in a whole new generation of enthusiasts. Here's something that you may not know. I never watched He-Man as a kid. I know.
Wow.
I know. It was never on, or I couldn't find it, or I never came across it.
I watched He-Man. I had Castle Grayskull,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother had Snake Mountain.
Oh, yes.
And I was a little jealous because Snake Mountain had a microphone. And you can make, like, noises.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't forget Moss Man, because that toy smelled like moss.
Oh, did it?
Yes. And skunk. There was a skunk guy. He was kind of stinky, too.
Huh.
And these are the things I remember.
No, that's interesting. See, I watched a lot of Thundercats and G.I. Joe, but I could never find He-Man or Voltron when I was a kid on TV.
I never seen Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple years between us, so I might have been busy watching, like, the Smurfs or something.
My Little Pony, probably.
No, I did not like My Little Pony.
Strawberry Shortcake?
Yeah, that was
the Gummy Bears?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gummy Bears.
All them?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, this is exciting. Everybody loves Masters of the Universe and the He-Man and all that stuff. And I've watched all of She-Ra on Netflix, the reimagined series. It was good. I never watched it as a kid, but I can watch cartoons when I'm an adult, because that's okay.
It is.
It is okay.
It's encouraged.
Yep.
I encourage everyone to watch cartoons as adults, because they're less likely to let you down.
Sometimes you have to ask your inner child to come out and play. How is that for cheese?
Love cheese.
There you go. There you go. So anybody who's into He-Man and the Masters of the Universe will be very excited to collect these new toys and watch these new shows.
So do you see yourself getting any of these collectibles?
I do not.
Because you're anti-collectible now?
I wouldn't say that I'm anti-collectible, but I would say that I've cut back quite a bit, and since I've never started collecting He-Man toys, I shouldn't start now. It wouldn't be a good idea. Shouldn't. It's just not something.
Don't do it.
I'm not. No. I'm good with all my Star Trek Starship of the Month, which I got my last 6 there about a month ago, and I'm done with that too. And there's no statues. I keep looking at Sideshow Toys, and there's no statues that I want.
Yeah, statues make it. They should have a Loki statue.
Oh, they do. They definitely do.
Now I need you to show me it.
I will do that after, yes. And is Loki your favorite?
No, I just think he's awesome.
Do you think Tom Hiddleston is a handsome man?
It's not hard to look at him, no.
No?
Wouldn't say that's my go-to guy, but...
Okay. Do you have a favorite Avenger or character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Favorite? No, I just really like the whole thing.
Okay. Oh, have you been watching WandaVision?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
How is that? Because, see, I'm thinking about getting my Disney back.
You should. Episode 8 of WandaVision came out yesterday, and I watched it, and it was good. The series starts off a little bit rough, like, what the heck is going on here? But by episode 3, if you make it through episode 3, you're like, oh, this is really, really good. And episode 8 last night that I watched has more of Agnes Harkness, who is a character that we've been following in the show the entire time as a neighbor, but she's actually a lot more involved than that. She's not just a neighbor. And we also find out why Wanda is known as the Scarlet Witch. No spoilers, it's just revelations that happen in episode 8, and it's really, really good, and there's not too many episodes left. Today it was confirmed that there won't be a second season, but this is just to launch into more movies and stuff, so it's like a bridging series.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and so the next show that's coming to Disney Plus after WandaVision is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we talked about last week, and it's coming out March 19th, and it's going to be followed by Loki on June the 11th. So maybe you want to get your Disney back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can watch Loki.
Yes.
Since he's not hard to look at.
It's not hard to look at, no.
There you go. So, yeah, Loki is June 11th, and then in the Star Wars group, we've got a new animated show coming out called The Bad Batch, and that's coming out May 4th. Some release date information that we recently
How appropriate.
were privileged to get this week. So it's a good time to be a geek. It has been for the last several years, and it's going to continue to be. And what else do we have? Well... So before we get into other things, I told you before we started recording that recently we've started a new segment here on the podcast called the Retro Trailer of the Week. Sometimes it might have something to do with what we're talking about, and sometimes it might not. I said, hey, what trailer should we play? And you're like, how about The Fifth Element?
Yes,
and
I like that.
And so we watched a couple trailers. It's all images and noise and no dialogue, so I don't want to play that.
But you should still watch it if you haven't.
You know what? I watched that show, I think once when it first came out, and I didn't care for it.
And now you have to revisit it.
Apparently I have to revisit it because there are people out there who love it. And I don't remember it at all. So.
And I can quote it.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
That does say a lot. So we're going to play...
It's not great, mind you, but I can still quote it.
It's not great?
No, it's not one of those, oh my God, you have to see that movie. But sometimes you just watch things because they're fun, and I liked it.
Okay, that's a good reason. So there we go. So we're not playing that, but a retro trailer of the week for this week on Rusted Robot Podcast is for I Come in Peace, also known as Dark Angel. Here you go.
Houston, Texas. It's Christmas. Someone special's coming to town. And it's not Santa Claus.
I'm coming, peace.
Jack Kane, a cop who does things his own way.
What are you doing? Shortcut.
He's sensitive, understanding, and kind to strangers.
Merry Christmas.
But all that's about to end.
I'm coming, peace.
3 well-armed men have their throats cut before they can even draw their weapons. Who could possibly move that fast?
Aliens.
Hey, what? Are you crazy? It's true. You need a psychiatrist, Jack.
Your psycho stole a lot of heroin to kill people with.
What are you gonna do? Tell them we're fighting drug dealers from outer space? Huh? Look out! Human body carries a small electrical charge, right? You tune the disc to the charge and then...
What the hell is going on here?
As far as you're concerned, this case is closed. It's not our problem anymore.
I've had a bad day.
pieces.
And that's a film that came out in 1990. Kyle and I actually did a movie review on this movie, episode 52 of this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Back in November of 2014 it was. Episode 52 anyway. So if anybody wants to hear my review of I Come in Peace / Dark Angel, go listen to episode 52 if you haven't already. And this is a film that I watched all the time as a kid. It had a flying CD as a weapon. This is when CDs were just coming out, because this was 1990. And it's got Dolph Lundgren in it, an alien who says, I come in peace. And then at the end of the film, when Dolph Lundgren blows him away, he says, and you go in pieces. And that was always a favorite line of mine. I recommend anybody to watch this show. It's not good, but it's nostalgically amazing, and I love it. And I watched it all the time as a kid. And go check it out, guys and girls. And I think you should too.
Yes, well, I'll watch it if you watch The Fifth Element again.
All right, that's fair. I'll watch The Fifth Element, and you watch I Come in Peace.
Okay.
Also known as Dark Angel. It's got 2 names. It's one of those weird things. So yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Different country releases, I think.
I expected you to know because these are the things I expect you to know.
Well, I might have known back in the day, but I don't remember. It's just a cheesy good time. And I recommend. So, moving right along, Star Trek Prodigy to debut on Paramount Plus before it hits Nickelodeon. And this week, we got the first look at the characters. We don't have any plot information. We don't know too much about it. We do know that Kate Mulgrew, or Captain Janeway herself, is part of the cast.
Cool.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Ah, well, that's because you don't listen to the Rusted Robot podcast.
It is. The shaming begins.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So we don't have any character names or characteristics or anything like that, but one is a robot. One's a chubby warthog-looking guy. There's a tall, skinny girl with, it looks like a Michael Myers mask, but that might just be her face. There's some dude beside her with funky hair. There's some kind of rock monster, maybe, and a blob.
I'm like, the blob kind of looks like a bird.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
But I have no idea what it is.
No, nobody really knows what it is or what's going on. But it does say the new Star Trek animated series is aimed at younger viewers, and it was originally planning to debut on Nickelodeon, but it's going to hit Paramount Plus first and then go over there later. 10 episodes for its first season. That's pretty much all it says. The main highlight is that none of the show's primary cast will be a human character, which is a first for a Star Trek series. So that indicates Mulgrew's role will be secondary at best. Probably like a narrator or the lesson at the end of the show kind of wrap up thing. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but the characters look funky. They look like they're going to be a lot of fun, and it's basically to get kids involved in Star Trek from a young age.
I think that's cool.
It's very cool. And taking a closer look at the tall, skinny girl, her face is just really, really pale white. It doesn't look like a mask, but it's hard to tell what species she is. I don't think we've ever seen it before. Online comments say it's very Star Wars looking.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, I would give it that.
And at the end of the article it says, so far no character names, voice casting, or species information on these alien explorers have been released by Paramount Plus. We don't know anything about it, we just know what it looks like.
And that's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. Yes, and any listeners who are not following the Facebook page for the Rusted Robot Podcast definitely should, so they can see what we're seeing. Last week, we talked about things that we had watched. I had watched a movie called The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. And you've seen this now too, right?
I have.
And what did you think of it?
I enjoyed this.
And in fact, I liked it so much that Trish and I did a movie review podcast for the Soul Forge podcast, episode 191, which came out this past Thursday, for a more in-depth talking about that film.
And I still need to listen to it because I didn't check it out because I hadn't seen the movie and I didn't want spoilers.
I don't think we really spoiled it, but probably inadvertently there's some.
Yeah.
In that movie review, we had talked about Palm Springs, which was a similar type movie. Now you've seen that too, but I haven't.
Yes, it's
Time loop as well?
Time loop as well. Different kind of time loop. Whereas Map of Tiny Perfect Things is this happy. It's got a dark side too, but it's happiness that they're looking at, right?
Yeah.
And it's more of an adult. Palm Springs is more adult, dark. So it's not the best, but again, it's a nice little break from serious things to watch.
No, I love time travel. It's one of my favorite things. Would I enjoy Palm Springs? Do you recommend watching it to anybody, or is it kind of you shouldn't watch it if?
Oh Oh, I think I enjoyed watching it. Johan preferred The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. But you can't really compare them because they're kind of apples and oranges.
They're just both time loop movies, but
yeah.
that's the only thing they have in common.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'll try watching that before next week's episode so I can talk about that again. And we'll go from there.
And then you'll be like, don't listen to Heather, don't watch it.
That movie was crap. I don't recommend it. It wasn't even a real time loop. I don't know. I'm just making that up because I haven't seen it. But I will eventually.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that it came beside The Map of Tiny Perfect Things because it's not anywhere that level. But
and if any of our listeners have watched either of those things and would like to give us a movie review, you can send either a written transcript or an MP3 and send it to therustedrobot@gmail.com because we love playing content from our listeners. Now, I watched another movie this past week with Julie, and it wasn't a time travel movie, but it was called Serenity. Now, that's not the Joss Whedon sequel to Firefly movie.
Okay.
No, this is a different Serenity movie. It was on Netflix. It has Matthew McConaughey in it. It was weird. It was very strange. It was very odd. And I can't even hardly describe the film. He's basically left his life and he's having a little fishing boat on some tropical island. And he's kind of Captain Ahabing for this mythical tuna fish that he's trying to get. His ex-wife comes along, charters the boat and wants him to kill her abusive husband. What's going on in the background is that there's the kid that Matthew McConaughey has with this woman, and the kid is not being treated well by the new husband who's abusive. But Matthew McConaughey's character can hear what the kid is saying through the computer, or hear his thoughts, or it's really messed up and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Sounds Stephen King-ish.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was a little bit Jaws because it was fishing on a boat and just really random movie. I'd never heard of it, but it just showed up on Netflix as a new release. I'm like, yeah, we'll give it a shot because Julie and I cannot agree on movies because she is not a geek at all.
I noticed.
Yeah. So we watched it and I don't know if we liked it or not. I don't know. It was so weird.
Maybe I will watch it and I will come back and talk about it.
That is not a bad idea because nobody's talked about it. I'd never heard of it. And normally I'm always on top of all the casting news and what's going on. And this movie just popped up out of nowhere. Well, that's different. Let's see what else we got. We've got, according to io9.com, something called Mothership. Halle Berry is attached to star in a new sci-fi film from Netflix, written and directed by Matt Charman. The story concerns a fearless woman, played by Berry, whose husband mysteriously vanishes. But when she discovers a strange extraterrestrial object beneath her home, she and her children set out to find him and uncover the truth behind his disappearance, which may involve the CIA.
Don't you hate descriptions of movies these days?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make you want to watch it.
The fact that there's ETs in it, or extraterrestrial something or other, and the name of the thing is Mothership, so that intrigues me, because it's sci-fi-ish, but it's probably garbage. But it might be okay. It might be a surprise. Yep. So there's that. We've got something called The Killer. David Fincher will reteam with Seven screenwriter Andrew Kevin Walker on a film adaptation of Alex Nolan's graphic novel, following a cold-blooded assassin who begins to have a psychological crisis in a world with no moral compass. We've currently got Magneto himself, Michael Fassbender, in talks to star.
See, that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got an untitled Wesley Snipes project. He's revealed that he's working on a new project he believes is going to smoke all of the Blade stuff. According to the article, we have two things. We have one in which female action franchise, and also what we call our Blade Killer, Blade on steroids. And we set our character in the world of shapeshifters and a little bit of time travel. But the action is going to be, well, we did the white belt action in Blade. Now we're going to do black belt action. It's wonderful what we did. But brother, we're so much better than we were then. So much better now than we were then. Yes, indeed. And we've got more tools. Some of the things that were innovated in the Blade franchise in the first film are now standard in the Marvel Universe and all of these other action movies. And the technology allows them to do a lot of things we couldn't do then. Now, give us the technology, and we've already got the skills and the flavor. It's poppin', baby! That was my worst Wesley Snipes accent or quoting style, but that's what he said. He thinks it's going to be awesome. He's quite the talker. He likes to talk things up quite a bit.
I just find it kind of sad that he's still trying to get away from Blade. It's like, this is going to be better than Blade. It has to be better than Blade because I'm tired of Blade.
He wanted to be in the new Blade, but it's going to be Mahershala Ali instead, which is okay, because he's younger. So we'll see how that goes. And we've got a Pet Sematary prequel revealing the secret origin of the film's zombifying graveyard. It's now in development at Paramount Plus. It's a Pet Sematary prequel saying why it works the way it does. And in more Star Trek news, according to Alex Kurtzman and Paramount Plus programming chief Julie McNamara, the proposed Section 31 spin-off show featuring Michelle Yeoh's Philippa Georgiou character from Star Trek Discovery is still conversations and will now only happen when one of the 5 current Star Trek projects, Discovery, Prodigy, Lower Decks, Picard, and Strange New Worlds, is over.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were really talking this up before season 2 of Discovery came out, and then we had Pike in season 2, and the internet exploded and everybody wanted a Captain Pike series because Anson Mount, who, by the way, just had a birthday this past week and is a very, very handsome man. He's my man crush. If you haven't seen Hell on Wheels, you need to see it.
I have not seen that.
He's a freaking amazing actor, and he exploded as Pike, and so we're getting Strange New Worlds, and I can't wait. So we've got that, and also Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone reboot has been cancelled after 2 seasons.
I didn't even know there was a reboot.
Oh, well, that's why it was cancelled, because nobody knows about it. And it says here, the MCU on Disney+. During a Television Critics Association presentation for Marvel's various Disney Plus projects, Kevin Feige stated the network probably could bring back characters from Netflix and ABC, including Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and The Inhumans. And he says, I think we could probably do it. I think a lot of that stuff comes back to us. There's always rumors online about things reverting. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. And I'm not exactly sure of the exact contracts, but perhaps someday. So we might get our small screen heroes up on the big screen. And let's see, it says here that Legends of Tomorrow's 6th season will premiere in a new time slot, Sunday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. as the lead into the Batwoman. Have you watched any of those?
I have not.
Okay.
So I have to say that when I was watching Superman and Lois, some of the commercials for other shows were quite interesting because I don't usually watch TV, so
yes.
Don't get those promotions, right?
No, that's true. And speaking of Lois and Superman, or Superman and Lois, I did make you watch it this week, so we could talk about it on the podcast. So I recorded it, and I finally watched it the other night, and I was fully prepared to hate it because I was all into the CW superhero shows when they first came out. In fact, the first year of this podcast, all we did was review The Flash and Arrow because we loved that show. And the last few years, I just fell out of it, and they changed times, and it was all over the map, so I just stopped following it for the last 2 or 3 years. But I was like, okay, I do a podcast about pop culture. I need to watch Superman and Lois. So I'm like, all right, I'll freaking watch this thing, but I'm not going to like it. Guess what?
You liked it.
I liked it. It was so good. I was like, what the heck? This is way better than I expected. And so we've got this Superman guy. He's married to Lois. He's got 2 teenage kids. His mom... Spoiler alert, but not really. It's the first episode, so it doesn't matter.
Because I spoiled it for you, you'll just spoil it for everyone.
Yeah, but it's just the first episode, so it's okay. So his mom dies, and he has to come back to Smallville to take care of the farm and stuff. And so they're trying to decide if they should live at the farm in Smallville or live in Metropolis. And we find out that one of the kids has superpowers, and the kids didn't know, and they're 14 years old at this point. They didn't know Superman was their dad.
Because Superman is boring.
Yeah, exactly. Superman is boring. That's what the kid said. Actually, I watched the thing, and it was so good. And the mom, who's Lois, looks like Courtney Cox from Friends. I'm like, I know that's not her, but holy crap, that's all I can think of. It's Monica from Friends. Or what's her name from Cougar Town, whatever she was called on that show.
Yeah, I didn't watch that show.
Oh, I watched the first season. Penny Can!
Nah.
If you haven't watched the show, you wouldn't know what Penny Can is.
No, but now I'm going to have to Google.
You're going to have to Google Penny Can.
Yeah.
It's true. So... what did you think of Superman and Lois?
I was pleasantly surprised. I think one of the reasons we like it is because it kind of brings that family show feeling back. Like from when we were kids, everything was wholesome and good, you know. You could take the superhero out of this show and it's still a decent show.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwback, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're parents. And now he has all this more drama in his life. You know, it's not bad enough. It's not enough that you're Superman. Now you have a wife and kids.
That's right.
And teenagers. Deal with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was fully expecting it to be garbage, and it wasn't. And I'm probably going to keep watching it.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to watch it, jerk.
I know, right? I was like, oh, it's just another show. Because I stopped watching Batwoman. I stopped watching Legends of Tomorrow and Flash and Arrow and Supergirl and all that stuff. But this seems like it's actually good. Now, have you watched Resident Alien?
I don't have access to it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
But I really want to, so
Yeah, no spoilers, but it's basically it's Alan Tudyk from Firefly, which you've never seen, and he crash lands on the planet Earth, and he takes over the life of a doctor in this small Colorado town, and hilarity ensues, and it's getting so good, so good.
Oh, back to Superman.
Yeah,
the actor. He is in Palm Springs.
Yes, you were mentioning that.
He's a bit of a jerk. Well, he's not a jerk. He just does a jerky thing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I saw Superman first, so I could keep him as a nice guy.
So that's some recent pop culture roundup from IO9. Well, speaking of Superman, we've got a Superman solo film on the way from JJ Abrams, and I'm going to screw up this guy's name. It's Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think
you did good.
I think that's how you'd say it. Writer Ta-Nehisi Coates is penning the film for Warner Brothers. It will be produced by JJ Abrams. There's no word on a director, a star, a plot, or anything of that nature just yet. But really, all you need to say is Superman, Coates, and Abrams, and it's hard not to get excited. The site Shadow and Act first reported the news, which was then confirmed by Deadline and IO9, and independently confirmed it. And to be invited into the DC Extended Universe by Warner Brothers, DC Films, and Bad Robot is an honor, Coates told Shadow and Act. I look forward to meaningfully adding to the legacy of America's most iconic mythic hero. So we don't know anything about it, but there is a rumor that this may be the first black Superman.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit of diversity in casting, which should be interesting. I know that didn't go over too well when they had a black actor play the Human Torch in the last Fantastic Four film. That was obliterated by online critics, mostly trolls and basement dwellers. But
yeah, I think it's hard when I think sometimes when they take a role and they change either the gender or the ethnicity of it, it's hard for some people, one, to accept it. And two, I think it's just sometimes it feels like they're just doing it to do it.
Right. And according to a quote here, it says, will audiences be introduced to a black Superman? That is the intent, and something that the studio has been trying to find a way in for months, if not a year or two, according to sources. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's one of the characters that really lends itself to him. He's
an alien.
He's an alien.
Sure, he's always been white, but that's because white people made him.
Yeah,
But let's reflect a little bit more of the world.
And now too, like in the past, having a colored Superman would have been difficult because of what jobs he would have been able to get.
Right.
Because we have to accept that was an issue. There's nothing stopping a black man from doing whatever he wanted to do. So
that's right. And Superman was created in the 30s, of course. So it was a totally different time. That's almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it does say in this article, America's most iconic mythic hero, but he was partially created by a Canadian. Yes. So there is that. Just have to bring that up because CanCon, Canadian content.
Yes.
You know.
And we watched those things as kids on TV, and it said so.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the drawing by the train.
And I've still got stamps from the 90s from Canada Post that had a bunch of Superman on it. So, because we were celebrating our cultural diversity. It's a thing that people don't know about. That Superman is partially Canadian.
And now you know.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. All right, what else have we got here? Let's see. Well, speaking of films, did you ever watch District 9?
I did.
And wasn't that the best film you ever saw in 2009?
Quite possibly.
Think about 2009. Can you name any more films from 2009?
No, because I'm not good with that.
Okay, well, District 9 came out in 2009. Star Trek 2009 came out in 2009. Moon came out in 2009 as well. Did you see Moon?
Probably Johan made me watch it, but I don't remember it.
Oh, it's so good. Oh,
so maybe I didn't see it.
It's got Sam Rockwell in it, and it has Kevin Spacey as the voice of the computer. So that's a bit problematic, but still a good movie. So anyway, this week, Neil Blomkamp took to Twitter to give his fans a very early surprise to wake up to. He announced that he and his writing partners, Shartolo Copley, who played Wickus, or the main character in the film, and Terry Tatchell are in the process of writing the screenplay for District 10, the highly anticipated sequel to the critical and box office hit. It says here, if you don't know anything about District 9, it's partially presented in a found footage format by featuring fictional interviews, news footage, and video from surveillance cameras to tell its story. The film begins in an alternate 1982 when an alien spaceship appears over Johannesburg, South Africa. When a population of sick and malnourished insectoid aliens is discovered on the ship, the South African government confines them to an internment camp called District 9. 20 years later, during the government's relocation of the aliens to another camp, one of the confined aliens named Christopher Johnson, who is about to try to escape from Earth with his son and return home, crosses path with a bureaucrat leading the relocation named Wickus van der Merwe. It's a Dutch name. I can't. I'm Dutch, but I can't say it because that's weird. So it says here, rumors of a sequel to District 9 have been swirling for quite some time, and Blomkamp even took to Reddit to let fans know that a sequel would happen, but he also took that moment to explain why it hadn't been announced yet. And he says, okay, so with District 9, the basic answer is yes, I want to go back to that world and tell the rest of the story with Wickus and Christopher. The issue right now is that I have many other projects and ideas that I also want to work on and complete. And most importantly, the exact right reason to make District 10 needs to be very clear. The first film was based so explicitly on real themes and topics from South Africa that it affected me greatly growing up there, that we need to make sure the next film does not forget that. So apparently he's got it, and he's worked on the script, and it'll be coming out who knows when. But if it's anything like District 9, it'd be fantastic. He also did Chappie. Did you watch Chappie?
I was just going to say that. I really liked Chappie.
I love Chappie. Now, he also did Elysium, which was not the best film, but it was okay.
This one I'm not sure I saw.
It's Matt Damon, poor people on planet Earth. All the rich people live in some kind of floating thing,
yes.
And he has to get up there with an exoskeleton suit to save his life or somebody else's life or something.
I don't think I saw the whole show, to be honest. I think I walked away.
Yeah. Like, I went to the theater, and I bought the thing on Blu-ray, and I can't watch it again. It's not good. It's okay, but it's not great. So.
Yeah, I think Johan watched it.
But I've seen District 9 several times, and Chappie, because those are great films. And I'm very excited for District 10.
Yeah, District 9, I remember thinking it was going to suck. I really do. I remember thinking it was going to be a horrible movie, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's always nice when you're surprised like that.
Yes.
Which was cool. No idea when that's coming out. You like Terminator?
Yes.
You know you should never watch Terminator with French girls, right?
I do. That much I know.
Okay, that was a whole episode.
I know. I was there for the relationship and everything.
Yes, you were. Yep, that didn't go over so well.
Because I've been here that long.
Yes, you have. We've known each other since 2007. It says here, there have been 3 attempts at relaunching the Terminator franchise with Terminator Salvation, Terminator Genesis, and Terminator Dark Fate, all intended to kick off a brand new trilogy, but each of those films unfortunately failed to get the ball rolling. It might seem to some that it would be a good idea to let the franchise rest a bit, but you can't keep a killing machine down, as Netflix has ordered an anime series based on the long-running franchise. It says the project's still in the early stages, but the series will be developed by Mattson Tomlin, who will also serve as showrunner and executive producer. And he says, anyone who knows my writing knows I believe in taking big swings and going for the heart. I'm honored that Netflix and Skydance have given me the opportunity to approach Terminator in a way that breaks conventions, subverts expectations, and has real guts. And it says, Netflix has partnered with Skydance for the Terminator anime series, which will be produced in partnership with Production IG, who are known for Guilty Crown, Psychopaths, East of Eden, and the Ghost in the Shell series. And in a statement, Production IG president and CEO Mitsuhisa Ishikawa said, I asked my longtime friend and colleague Mamoru Oshii what he thought about the idea of turning the Terminator into an animated series. His response was, Ishikawa, are you out of your mind? At that instant, I was confident we should get on board. As huge fans, our team at Production IG is putting their heart and souls into creating this series. We hope fans will enjoy it. So, that was a mouthful.
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm going to be positive about it.
Do you like the Terminator franchise?
I do.
Yeah. And you like cartoons?
I do.
Now, as Josh would say, it's an anime, it's not a cartoon. And I would laugh and I say, oh, it's still a cartoon. That's always the thing that we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like to get his goat. But yeah, it's a robot cartoon. What's not to love? I love cartoons. I love robots.
True.
And it's going to be on Netflix.
So I'll have access.
Yeah, everybody has Netflix.
And if you don't, you probably should.
And if you don't, you know somebody who does. Terminator, anime, Netflix. No idea when it's coming out, but I'll watch the heck out of it.
Or at least a bit.
Yes, I'll watch all of it. Every last episode, anything that I can get my hands on Terminator, I will do. As you can tell, right behind me over there, there's a Terminator.
There is. With his with his
endoskeleton.
Thank you.
Yes, his arm is ripped off. So yeah, I love cartoons, I love robots, I love toys, I love podcasting.
You do.
Yes. So that's what I've got for you there. Now we should probably talk about some trailers. What do you think?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, fantastic. Now we already played the trailer for I Come in Peace.
Yes.
Which you do have to watch.
Yes.
You'll love it. This trailer here, it's M.O.D.O.K.
time to change the world by bringing it to its knees. Am I good businessman?
Yeah, about that. We're bankrupt.
What? You are hereby relieved of your status as CPA Supreme and as a living person.
I still need to do your personal taxes.
I'm sorry. I thought this coffee was for everyone.
Attack!
M.O.D.O.K!
And do you know what M.O.D.O.K stands for?
Mental organism designed only
For killing.
Hate it!
For killing.
All right, and that is the official teaser trailer coming to Hulu.
It's a bit odd.
It's a bit odd. I don't know anything about M.O.D.O.K. He's a weird-looking guy in some kind of almost like Krang suit from TMNT. You know, like how he was in that Robot Guts. But, I don't know anything about M.O.D.O.K. It says what M.O.D.O.K stands for in the trailer, but I've already forgotten.
Something about killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
M.O.D.O.K stands for
mental organism designed only
for killing.
It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, fun, yes. He seems like a very angry little bunum.
Yeah, a little angry guy. And it comes out sometime in May. But it's Hulu, and I don't have Hulu.
I am without Hulu.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Hulu for this either.
No, this would not make me get Hulu. I don't even know if we can get Hulu in Canada.
I don't know either.
But it looks like it would be a fun distraction.
Yes, some things are just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, not something I would have to tape or record or appointment viewing or whatever. But if I ever came across it, I would give it a go. That's all I got to say about that. And then we've got another trailer here. Let me just find it. We can't actually play it, though, because it's basically all images and sounds, but no actual dialogue. We've got the first teaser trailer for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. It features a pack of mercenaries storming Las Vegas to pull off an impossible heist. The video begins with a devastating shot of Las Vegas. Buildings are destroyed and there isn't a human in sight. From there, we head inside a casino as the lights and a slew of slot machines turn on. We then see Dave Bautista and his crew of mercenaries unloading gunfire on possible zombies off screen. Just as we appear to see crowds enjoying the slot machines, zombies begin to attack and overwhelm them. Then it's non-stop action as the teaser trailer reaches its climax before we witness the title treatment at the end. The synopsis for Army of the Dead reads, following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. Directed by Zack Snyder, Army of the Dead stars Dave Bautista, Garrett Dillahunt, Ella Purnell, Omari Hardwick, Raul Castillo, Tig Notaro, Theo Rossi, and Ana de la Reguera. The film will release on Netflix May 21st. So
dates.
So it's coming up shortly. It's going to be on Netflix, so we can all watch it. And it's got Dave Bautista. You know who that is? He plays what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy.
See, you told everyone your deepest, darkest secret.
Why can't I remember what his name is?
I don't know because you're with me, and I can't help you.
Yes, and his name is not Groot. It's not Star-Lord. It's not Gamora. It's not Rocket Raccoon. It's the only name I can't remember for some reason right now. Wow, that is horrible.
I love it.
I should totally remember what his name is, but I don't. Drax. There you go. It's Drax. Yes. Okay, so that looks like a lot of fun. I've heard the name Garrett Dillahunt. I can't remember what he's in. Theo Rossi, I think he was in Luke Cage as, well, he was the white guy in the show.
I didn't see the show.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
I didn't.
Okay. And, of course, Tig Notaro, she plays Jet Reno in Star Trek Discovery.
Black alert. Black alert.
And the rest of the people, I don't know who they are. There you have it. So that's coming out, and it looks like it's going to be fun. And we watched the teaser trailer, and it looks like a lot of violence and zombie killing.
Yes.
So what's not to love? Tell me, what's not to love? Tell me right now.
I don't know. Stop it.
Okay, that's fair. So those are our two trailers this week. We couldn't play Army of the Dead because it's just sounds.
But what he read is exactly what's happening.
And so it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We're living in the perfect time for pop culture. It's great.
Yes, because, well, we can't do anything else.
No, that's true. There is not too much else to do. Yeah, there is a lot of coronavirus happening and places being closed and all kinds of fun things like that. But there's always always podcasts to listen to.
Always.
Such as Rusted Robot, Soul Forge, Cosmic Pizza, and many other podcasts right here on the ESO Network.
Everyone these days could use a little support, and your friends at the ESO Network are no different. With the ESO Network Patreon, the cool thing is when you help support us, it's you who will benefit. With 4 tiers starting for as little as 25 cents a week, you can listen to some of your favorite network podcasts early, hear exclusive content, maybe get some ESO swag, or even possibly take a shot at the geek seat. All you need to do is sign up at patreon.com/ESO Network.
So check it out.
That's all I've got on my list of pop culture things to talk about, but do you have anything else interesting that we could discuss? I did share an article about flexible Lego tape that allows you to build anywhere, and so you can put it on your wall.
That's kind of interesting.
So if you want to grow Lego from your wall, like stalactites or from your ceiling or whatever, stalactites
Okay.
and stalagmites, you could do that, but I don't know if that's really pop culture, but it's something cool. We all love Lego. I've got a tower of Lego over there in the corner, so...
Yes.
So anyway, I guess that's pretty much it for this week. Listeners, check out episode 52 of the Rusted Robot Podcast if you want to know more about I Come in Peace. Check out episode 77 if you want to hear Heather's previous guest stint on this podcast.
Don't do it.
What do you mean don't do it?
I'm giving them my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's just just not go there.
Okay, fair warning.
This is awkward enough. I'm just very awkward on podcasts, so
most people are.
It's what I do.
There you go. All right, but I appreciate you coming by and helping me out and giving me somebody to talk to.
Well, I've enjoyed it.
Good. That's all that matters. So listeners, check out all that. Leave a 5-star review in the podcast. Go to therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links. And remember, as Leonard Nimoy said in his final tweet, perfect moments can be had, but not preserved, except in memory. Live long and prosper. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
Oh, good! Boys, the penny can game is the best thing I've ever created in my entire life.
And thank you, Dad.
Now, if the penny goes in the can, you get a point. If it doesn't, you don't.
Very chess-like.
I wouldn't know. Now, ladies, warm-up's over. Me and Trav versus you. The first team to 1,000 points wins.
Are you guys playing penny can? Is it finally real?
It is, baby. All right, first round, rapid fire. Me. Oh, Trav. Jeff. G-Man. Oh!
Penny can! Penny can!
Ultimate penny can. This is how it works. Ellie is going to ask a question about Bobby. You get it right, you move a step closer. Last player left has to drop the bomb on Bobby. Let's begin.
A Cheeto shaped like Bruce Willis. Francis Bacon because he sounds delicious. Boz Skaggs, uncircumcised. GAC, the Hispanic mechanic. Tolstoy. Penny can! Boom! Best friend out!
Ah, the hell with this.
Penny can! Penny can! Woo! Penny can!
Truth or penny can? If you miss, you have to answer a personal question. Who's in?
Oh, Ganji.
Get ready to be embarrassed, boys.
Woo!
Did you just throw that from there?
I've been practicing. And the worst part is, I love it. Penny can. Put your hand up. Backboard.
That's insane!
That's who I am now, Travis. Penny throwing dummy. No look.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. ESONetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.